Hey TOEIC takers, want to boost your TOEIC score by 50 points? Just follow my strategies that I'm going to outline for you in this video today. My name is Ellen Baker-Dubois, and I'm from businessenglishalure.com, an experienced business English teacher. I know that taking the TOEIC test is stressful, but try to stop worrying so much, because after this video, you're going to know exactly what to expect on test day, and you're going to have strategies to use in taking the test for all 7 parts. Okay, well, let's dive in. Let's look at some strategies for the listening section, some general strategies. The listening section is going to go really fast, so you've got to keep up. They only give you about 10 seconds to choose your answer and to mark it on your answer sheet. Each of the 4 sections will have directions, and listen to those directions, and you can even read the directions in your test booklet. If you are in doubt, don't get frustrated. Just guess or choose answer C and then move on. Don't lose your place on the answer sheet. Keep your pencil right over the answer that's being read. Stop there if you like that answer, or continue sliding over to the next letter to make your choice. Don't be tempted to write in the test booklet. You could be disqualified when they begin to correct your answers and they see there are markings in the corresponding textbook. You're going to have a few seconds to look at the photo in part 1 before the announcer begins. So take those seconds to imagine the vocabulary that you might hear. Look at the photo for the verbs that might be used, the action verbs. There'll be objects in the photo. Think quickly about that kind of vocabulary. There's usually a place, so think about that vocabulary. When you're listening to the 4 statements about the photo, choose the best one. Don't make any assumptions about the photo. These 4, the best answer will be based on fact. So you will see that in the photo. So try to not assume anything. Okay, now we're in part 2 of the listening section. And this is questions, and you choose the best response. You'll have three choices. This is really difficult because there's 25 questions and nothing to look at in your test booklet. So keep your head down and focused on your answer sheet with your pencil in place. Questions with who, what, when, where, these will require a logical response. But sometimes the response will not be a direct response to the question. For example, how many applicants applied for the position? Oh, I'm disappointed because we haven't received as many CVs as we were expecting. Now that is not a direct response. It is, but it is a common way of answering a question in business. Sometimes a yes or no question, we won't get a direct response. So try not to be too rigid and get frustrated when you don't see in the responses yes, no. Be flexible. Okay, so now we're in part 3. It's dialogues. And you'll have generally just 2 people speaking in a conversation, it's critical that you read the 3 questions before the dialogue begins. So then you know what to listen for. These dialogues have a lot of extra details that are not in any of the questions. If you don't think that you will have time to read the questions before the announcer begins, try to imagine, who is speaking, what's their profession, what's their relationship, and that will help you a little bit. Keep your head on the test booklet and on the questions as you listen, and keep your pencil on your answer sheet. Okay, this is part 4 of the listening section, and it's very short talks. So you'll only have one person speaking, someone announcing. It could be a weather report or an announcement at a conference. You'll have 3 questions. Try to read those questions before the announcer begins. And then when the announcement begins, keep your head down on your question booklet and focused on the questions, the 3 questions. Keep your pencil on that answer sheet ready to go. Now, this is starting to get a little bit more complicated. So try not to get frustrated. And if you don't know the answer, once again, guess or choose answer C. If you don't have time to read those questions at all, just kind of imagine in your head, who is this speaker? Or what's his job? Who's he speaking to? And where is he speaking? Right, now we're going to look at the reading section. And the biggest obstacle to most students is they don't have enough time to finish the reading section. So don't get caught in this trap. Parts 5 and 6 are fill in the blanks. You'll have a sentence with a little gap. And or in a text, you'll have a little space, a little gap to fill in. It's mostly grammar and vocabulary. So this you need to do really quickly. Either you know the answer or you don't. There's no reason to waste time in reflection here. Just answer them. And if you don't know the answer, guess or mark number C and move on to the next question. For parts 5 and 6, only allow yourself, 30 seconds per question. So that's like 16 minutes for these 2 parts, 5 and 6. Now, some teachers suggest that students go directly to part 7 of the reading section. Skip, for the moment, parts 5 and 6. Part 7 is the most difficult, and it's reading comprehension. So the answer is there, somewhere in the text. You just have to keep looking for it. So any extra minutes that you have to find an answer is going to help you a lot here. So keep in mind, quick in parts 5 and 6. Okay, so here we are in the reading section, part 5, and it's these sentences with the little space that you have to fill in. So instead of, reading the sentence, the question first, look directly at the 4 answer choices and decide, are they, what's similar about these 4 words? Are they all adjectives? Is it one verb conjugated in different tenses? Decide if there's something similar about them, or maybe something really different. if each word is completely different, that's probably going to be, a linking word, however, but, therefore. So look at those 4 answer choices first. Then go up and read the sentence, read the question. Once you choose your answer, plug it in the little hole and read the question again in your mind, out loud, and see if it sounds right. Here you want to trust your instincts. It's the only way you can answer quickly. So, without hesitation, trust your instincts. If you have no idea, then guess or circled answer C, and then move on. So here we are in part 6 of the reading section, and you're going to have a text with little gaps in some of the sentences. So we're going to use the same strategy. We're going to go directly to the sentence, the first sentence with a gap, and we're going to analyze those answer choices for how they're similar or dissimilar. Then we'll test our answer. We'll plug it into the gap. Try not to be tempted to read several sentences around the gap, and don't go to the beginning of the text to read. We just don't have time for that here. So trust your instincts. If you absolutely don't know the answer, guess. And if you can't guess, then go with answer C. So we're in part 7, the reading comprehension part of the test. And this is the most difficult part of the TOEIC. We've got some strategies that we want you to use. It's going to start off slowly with just one document and 2 to 3 questions. The questions generally follow the information in the document. So you just go through the document and find your answers. It will increase in complexity where there will be more than one text. Generally, there'll be a main text, like an email, and then you'll have 2 side documents, like an order form, or maybe an advertisement, or it could be a graph to analyze. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. You need to identify what those documents are. Fax, email. Be clear about that. In part 7, you're going to want to use skimming and scanning techniques. So, as I mentioned earlier, we want to identify the documents. An email will have a subject line. That's a lot of information there. A fax will have a subject line. If it's an order form, there'll be a lot of pertinent information there. So read your question and try to identify which document will hold the answer, and then skim the document for that answer. Now, every question carries the same value, but some of them are easier. So those questions that ask for direct information, do those first. You can find that information much easier by skimming or scanning the document. They're looking for dates or times, numbers, names. Some questions will require more analysis. You'll have to think about the meaning of the text or the writer's intent. What's he trying to explain? There'll be questions about understanding the text. Now, in these questions, you can leave those blank for the moment, because at the end of the test, the proctor, the monitor of the test, will announce 5 minutes, until you have 5 more minutes. So at this moment, you can go back and at least to fill in on your answer sheet, see. Maybe you'll have time to go back to some of these blank answers on your answer sheet and read it again. But I kind of doubt it. This is a hard test. So leave it blank and then quickly fill that in with letter C at the very end of the test. When you finish your TOEIC test and you get your score back, don't forget to put it on your CV, on your resume, and your LinkedIn profile. And why not take a selfie of you and your certificate? Like this student of mine. He got 930. Fantastic score. Thanks so much for your confidence in me and listening just until the end of the video. There is a link in the description for a PDF of my complete strategies. So I didn't leave out too much, but there is a few more things in there. So don't hesitate to download the PDF. Okay. Ciao.